Hi guys, my name is Eche. This is All Things NSMQ. Thank you so much, lovely family, for watching the videos, for liking them, and for sharing them. I really appreciate the comments too. This is a great NSMQ family, and I'm very, very appreciative. Today is another day, and we are coming your way with another interview. Very, very, very special one as usual. Our guest for today is somebody who is not a stranger to any of you. He graced our screens last year, went all the way from the prelims to the finals, and actually captured the cup, the coveted cup. His name is Mr. John Anim Tenkorang from Presbyterian Boys Senior High School, Presec, LEGON, and he is our guest for today. Hi, John.
Hi,
Welcome to the interview.
thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm fine by God's grace. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm blessed and highly favored. It's good to meet you once again. Good to meet you once again. How is life?
Life is good. Yeah, sitting pretty well with the course and everything. Also meeting new friends and making sure that the connection is wider now.
So John is at University of Ghana. He's in the which program are you in?
Computer engineering at the School of Engineering Sciences of University of Ghana.
So computer engineering, Shako, and he's in which house? So hey, I say house hall. So right now there is no more SHS. Which hall? Which hall are you in?
Mensa Saba.
Okay, that was my hall by the way. And when you were in Presec, which hall were you in? In which house were you in?
House 2, Clark House.
Okay, so shout out to all the Saba people, Clark House people, and all of that. All right, so how's schooling in University of Ghana like?
It was very tough, but it's also a good experience, though. Yes, but all the same, to the stages are going on well because it depends on you and the kind of stuff that you are made up of. That's why most of times you have to take the schooling at SHS very seriously because that is what will build you up before you come to university. Over here in universities, you don't have teachers parading throughout the whole day depending on your course. Like for me, like this, I have about 21 credit hours and they are evenly spaced, so I have a lot of time for myself, but that can mean that you can become lazy, but it depends on the training that you had in SHS. If you are well built and your foundation is very good, you can manage your time well and make the best of the time in the university.
Wow. So would you say like the life in Presec kind of prepared you for this? How was life in Presec like?
Yes, it was very challenging and it's also a good experience though because coming to Presec, I knew from my parents and also from their advice that Presec is one of the best schools. I was here to experience it. That was when I was coming. And when I got there too, I got to testify it because in Presec there are lots of opportunities that are available for you to make sure that you develop yourself before you move out into the world. And so coming to Presec, I decided to take each and every advice that my teachers in JHS, my parents and my family gave me. And that is what helped me because in Presec, it's a group of scholars. That's how I call it. And so there is that competition for you to build yourself up and make sure that you don't relent because you are coming to a place where everyone is a local champion. So that helps me to build up and it brought me that far.
You brought the best out of you
Yes, exactly.
because they challenged you.
Yeah.
The competition was not easy.
Ooh, especially because of where I found myself. My house like this, there was this kind of superstition that Bella boys don't come from house too. Like when I was there, but I was like, nah, that's not me. And one thing about me is that everywhere I go, I know I'm different. Many people try not to understand it, but I know I'm different. So I just decided to take that challenge upon myself and said to myself that that is what they believe, but that's not what I think. And so I faced many oppositions trying to join the team, but I was able to make it through. And when I got there, all those who were opposing me were even the ones loving me the more.
Wow. But that's a strong sense of belief and faith because some of those things can actually be pulling you back when you hear that nobody from here has done this or has done that. How did you develop that strong? I can feel something different about you. How did you develop that sense of faith and belief?
So first, I needed to seek advice. So one time during, it was 4 a.m. or 3:45 a.m. if I could remember because of the time I used to wake up. I was ironing on the slab and then I met one of my seniors. He He was called Henry Ojo. And then I asked him about the quiz. He told me something small about it, but he needed an iron. So I gave him my iron to iron his shirt. And then he told me that if I want to know more about it, I should come and meet him. And so after school that Thursday, I met him and then he explained to me about the quiz boys and how they behave and all that. And he gave me a book and some topics that I should try learning these things. Like, and the topics that he gave me were from the normal syllabus, but he said that I should be good in those topics in order to be one of the best. And going forward, I saw that I needed a mentor. Okay, so I decided to follow him up because he was the one who decided to listen to me, who was not following that belief. It's like it looked like they had wasted their chance, but then they were willing to support anyone who was trying to get into the team. So I followed him up and then he introduced me to some of his friends too who helped me, and then I had such good times with them. I used to go for prep with them. I used to go to their class. So then I'll be listening to their conversations, what they'll be learning and all that, and sometimes they'll be training me alongside with preparing me for the quiz. And so I had that much belief, and they also saw that I was determined for it, so they decided to help me. Yeah.
So the importance of mentorship and also the right friends are very critical. So thanks to Henry Drew wherever he is, and to the Clark House squad. Where is Henry now?
Henry is in University of Ghana. I actually met him before coming here.
Oh, are you serious?
Yes.
Wow.
And Arcadio, Steven, he's at KNUST, Raymond also, and most of the P boys, they helped me a lot. Yes.
When you say P boys, what's that?
That's a particular class.
Okay. I got it.
I used to prep in that class, and then they helped me, they trained me, and they came to like me the more. So yes.
Interesting story. Interesting story. I see. All right. So that's part of John's secrets that we don't know. Okay. Nice. So what about growing up? How was it like growing up? How did you get to be how you became? Did your parents play a role? I mean, how was it like growing up? Tell us about that and then your family.
Yes, so I had a strong foundation because I had parents who were willing to offer their all for me, even though they didn't get the opportunity that I had. And it was also by the grace of God because they had led such good lives, and then we felt the influence back at home. And so there was this thing that usually people like to follow the world, like to follow what people think is normal, but that was not common in our home. So that was one thing that helped to build us because to us, my father taught us the way of the Lord, and my mom too is a very staunch Christian. And one thing that helped us was that they were teachers also, and so each and every time we'll be learning, but we also had times watching movies on the kids TV and stuff. But most of the time we were very good due to the fact that we had much time learning, and then my father in particular had much time to teach me. Yes, so in class one I used to remember sometimes he would sit me down on a very long bench, and then he'll be giving me math questions to answer. Like he'll be setting math questions for me to answer. I remember that very well. And so growing up, in it wasn't surprising though, but from class one to JHS 3, I got prizes in all the classes.
Wow.
Yeah, from class one overall third and all that to
So GHS 3.
valedictorian. Yeah, so but that was because of the efforts of my parents and also my family. Yes, because they were always on us, making sure that we are learning. And then when they saw that we had been set into the momentum, it was now left to us because as our classes we came to understand that this is our life, and so we have to live it. And so as our classes we started learning at dawn, at 4 a.m. maybe before we go to class. At 6 we wake up at 4, we learn, we pray before we set out for school. And so that built us up. So coming to Presec, even with that character, it was very easy to fit in.
Okay. Because you were trained in that, so it was part and parcel of you.
Yes. And also in JHS too, I had very good teachers. Yes. Right now, I don't know where they are now, but I would like to mention and thank
Sure.
them a few.
Sure. Please go ahead.
So I would like to thank my director of Koma International School, Michael J. Sechi,
Okay. And it's located where?
at Nkoko, yeah. And I'd like to thank my JHS math teacher who inspired me and encouraged me, Courage Hector. Also like to thank Daniel Nyakwa, Sakantanka, and my beloved tree teacher, Stamponsa, yeah, and my friend teacher, Monsieur Agogo, yeah. So it's like they were the kind that sorry if I can't remember the rest, but Mr.
Like all
Akpalu,
your
yes,
teachers.
all my teachers, I like to thank them, and also my friends too. Yes, so they were the kind that they were trying to inspire us. And then the one thing about them is that they didn't want us to feel like we had reached them. Oh, yes. So sometimes to when it's time for exams, they will tell us that look, we'll not give you the 100, but make sure you try your best. And then that thing built us up because we know that writing the exam, he's not going to give us 100. But when our mock goes out for external marking, it will come and then like we will sell exceedingly. Yes, so that helped to build us up. And I also enjoyed the sports day and all those extracurricular activities back in JHS very, very well. Yes, I used to love sports day. I used to play for my house. Sometimes
Really?
yeah.
Which game?
Oh, football. And then I used to go for 4x100 too. 4 by
Hey,
100
I didn't. I never knew this.
Oh yeah, I used to go for 4x100 race and all the stuff. So it helped me build a nice connection with my juniors and also my friends. Yes.
Hey, so do you still have it in you, the football and the racing?
Yeah, I have it to me, but right now I've not been training. So if I start,
It will take a while before you
yeah,
get back to your form.
yes.
Okay, so it means you like sports.
Oh yeah, a lot, a lot.
Oh, I see. But you had to discipline. You're able to discipline yourself.
Yes. In
Not to play
JHS
too.
three, yeah, in JHS three, I took part. I was part of the school team, even though we didn't reach anywhere.
But it's good. It's good. All right. So we're talking about sports, and for those of you can imagine, well, you can imagine Tinkoin running or playing football and not doing speed race. Okay, you can just imagine that. So, what was your favorite position?
um, Usually I was the person who would take the second baton for the 4x100 race. Yeah, I like that position very well. And for playing football, that one, um, defender. Yeah, that was my best position. Though I tried to be a winger, but it tried for some of the sports. Then it didn't go well for some others too. But I think defender is okay.
It's what you settled with.
Yeah.
Okay, and what's your favorite team?
Barcelona, yeah. Even though there are lots of controversies, but yeah,
Barca guy.
yeah, Barcelona.
Who's your favorite player?
Messi.
Lionel Messi.
Yes.
It's like I should know. Naturally. So Messi and Ronaldo, who is better?
Oh, it was Messi. It's Messi.
Eh,
There is no doubt.
no doubt.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
What about Haaland and Messi?
Actually, there are two different generations, but yeah, but I'll prefer Messi. Yeah.
Great, 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 great. Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue. So, much appreciation to the lovely teachers in the GHS, parents and friends. Okay, so now Presec. What made you choose Presec?
Good, because my father said that when he gave birth to me, he wanted me to go to Presec, and that was the only thing on his mind. And also, I remember very well 2009 finals. I watched the NSMQ.
2019 or 2009?
2009
Oh, okay.
when I was 5.
My bad. Sorry. Oh.
Jeff.
Asalaba.
Yes, Asalabash.
So he means 2009, not 2019. Okay,
2009. Yes, so I remember that time, and I was very happy watching the quiz. And I used to watch it with my father and my younger brother too, Percy. Yeah. So I don't know what's like it meant at that time, but it was just nice watching them and then the way they were jubilating and the way they were wearing the blue and brown. Yes, so it was like at that time I didn't know what is.
But you, yeah, but you just loved what you saw.
Yes. So it was in 2019 that right after during the BEC we had to be choosing schools, and about Nkoko, it's in Kwao. So that means that most of the people would like to go to St. Peter's. Yes, and as I said, like I'm always different. Yeah, even some of my mates up to now, they are still wondering why I didn't do medicine. But I know myself, like I'm just different. Yeah. So it was during that time that most of them wanted to go to St. Peter's because that was the norm.
So it's
And
just natural for those in your school and in that area.
yes, and as at 2015, no one had gone to Presec. 2015 or 2016, no one had gone to Presec.
At least from your school.
Yes, from my school. And so it looked like a very difficult opportunity for you to get Presec. But I liked that challenge. And also, I had two teachers who were old boys of Presec, and they were going to the medical school, but then they decided to do an internship and do some teaching at my school called Man International School. Yes. And so when I saw that they went to Presec, I had the opportunity to ask them how the school is. So I asked them about the qualifications to get into Presec, and because I naturally just wanted to go to Presec, I didn't want to go to any other school because I felt Presec is like the best school. Yes, I felt at that time that Presec was the best school. So I asked them,
You feel the same way now.
yes, at that time I felt, but when I got there, I experienced it.
Got to know for
I got to know for real. So at that time, I asked them, and then they told me that if you want to go to Presec, you have to get like 9 ones, and your raw score should be like 550. Yes. So that seemed difficult to do at that time. So I just decided that, well, that's what they believe. And some of my mates too felt that it would be difficult to get Presec, so why don't we just settle for St. Peter's? So I was like, no, I just want to go to Presec. I just want to be a different person. I want to be the only one. And I know I can get Presec, so I have to go to Presec. So decided to study assiduously. So I was studying, and it somehow affected my social life because my juniors were like, I wasn't open to them, and it's like I was studying, and always serious. Yeah, yeah. But I knew that if I want to go to PSEC, then I have to study. I have to study. If I want to go to PSEC, I have to study. So I did. I studied, and in fact, my class we were gaining momentum. We were helping each other out, and then I remember getting to BC. We had in our mind that agenda 9 ones straight. So
Gender 9 ones.
yes, and that was as of 2019. It had been a long time since anyone got 9 ones.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But getting 9 ones was not just because like we have to get it or it's a pride, but it's like it was the basis for beating the stereotype that if you want to go to PSEC, you have to get a high raw score and get 9 ones. So it's like we were subject to it. Fine, that's what they are saying. Let's just work for it. Yes. So we just decided to do our best, and it came out well with the BC. Most of my friends, not most, all of my friends got to good schools. I came to Presec by God's grace. One of my friends went to Pempe, others to Louis, and we also got two of us got 9 ones, one got 8 ones, others 7, 6. It was very good because in a while we had broken the record in a school. Yes, and so coming to Presec,
And of course, some too went to St. Peter.
yes, and some two went. A lot of them went to St. Peter's. So coming to Presec, it's now time for me to experience what I felt. Yes. And then to me, I had no doubt that Presec is the best school because when I got there and I just asked about the Nsmq and I saw how the 2020 batch were Gapeto, Benji. When I saw them, I was like, God, these guys are just they are just mad. Because it's like there was this atmosphere about the quiz boys that enabled you to learn. Because you rarely see them, and then when you see them, it's like they are serious, and then they were very well mannered too. They were not living anyhow, not talking and all those. Like they were very gentle, well mannered.
Gentlemen, very well composed.
Yes, Christian gentleman. And so like,
That's the nickname for Presec.
yeah,
Christian gentleman.
Christian gentleman. So like when you see Benjamin Ketia moving about, like you just see that nah, this guy is just a man. Like,
Yeah, there's an aura, a certain aura around.
yeah, and seeing Gapeto like and Panther, like it was very very, not to mention the others, because I had a one-on-one encounter with each of them, though they didn't know me as at that time, but I saw them late at night and all those things, and that really inspired me, and that's the kind of atmosphere that actually inspires studies in Presec. Yes, so that helped me a lot, because it's like, no, I've seen them, and the way they are, I want to be like them. Like right away they become your role models. Yes, so they inspired me a lot, and then I decided to give it my all to join the team. Yeah.
Right. That's amazing. So it started from you believing in yourself, you always wanting to be different. And I think that's something you guys can learn. He always felt free. He said he just wanted, he doesn't care. He will be himself. He will be different and he will do what he wants to do despite what people see or where he goes. So I think it's that sense of self belief, that has taken you far and brought you to Presec. Okay, so now you came to Presec, you put in your best, you did everything, and then you get into the team. Were you surprised when you first of all you got into the team and then you were selected as the top two?
Um, it started one night after prep. I decided to extend it a little bit, which was against the rules, but I just decided to extend it a little bit, and um, upon returning to my house, I met Isaac.
Isaac Jimfi,
Isaac
Panther.
Panther, yeah. So I met Isaac and I asked him about the quiz, and then he told me all that I need to do, make sure I learn and all those things. So seeing him encourage me, he told me that I should come and meet him the following day. So I was like, "Oh, thank you. There's an opportunity to meet him finally." And he told me I should come and meet him in front of the quiz room. So I went the next morning. I went to the quiz room. I knocked and I asked for Isaac, but he wasn't around. And I decided to steal the chance and take a glance at the quiz room, but it was blocked. I remember the president, Faith Sobisero. Yeah, he drew the curtains and I couldn't see it. I couldn't see inside the quiz room. It's like, oh, well, at
Just
least,
wanted to have a feel of what it was
yes,
like.
at least I've been able to pass in front of the quiz room, and as at that time, it meant a lot, because it wasn't fine. You can go and pass there, but then you can't see inside.
Okay, I get what
Yes, so it meant a lot to me that at least he opened up to even see my face.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to meet him, but I got to meet him that particular evening, and then he spoke to me about the quiz again. But that was where I took my source of morale from. And then one other night, so I met Safo Kantanka Prince SK. Yeah, so I met SK, and then I decided to ask him about a question that I had learned from my mother's father. That's my grandfather's chemistry book. Yeah, yeah, that was the only chemistry book I had as at that time, because my parents hadn't gotten me. Yeah, so I decided to ask him about a question from the book, and then he was like, "Wow, he has to make a research about that." So
You ask a quiz boy question and he has to do research.
yeah, he knew about it, but he wanted to make sure that I was satisfied,
Okay.
and that's one thing that I liked about them. Like, they want to make sure that you are satisfied. They are not learning for themselves alone. Yeah. So they, in his quest to do that, he researched it, and the next evening he explained to me what it was about. And I remember asking him, it was about Crookes dark space. I've forgotten about it. I don't do chemistry now. But yeah, that was leading to the atomic theory. Yeah, Crookes dark space. I remember very well. I asked him that question, and then he explained it to me, and I liked the way he related to me very well. So it motivated me. So I decided to learn, and even though the COVID um was a curse to many people, to me it was a blessing,
Okay.
because that was the time that I used to prepare adequately for the quiz. So that 9 months or whatever we spent in the house, that was the time I used to build myself up for the quiz, because I knew that in Presec, one thing that Henry Ojo used to tell me, that what if you are the 11th person who was studying assiduously, that means you don't get selected in the team. So I took that thing upon my head, that mantra, and then every time I'll be like, so what if I'm the 11th person who is studying hard? Nah, I have to give it my best. So that's what I was doing. And when the COVID, when we resumed school after the COVID break, it was time for the selection process. Yes, and it was just go so. Yeah, I'll say it was just go so. It was just go so. Yeah.
So yeah, so then it means that you had really been. It was not coincidence. You've been actually working at this. Yes. What I was going to ask was your grandfather into chemistry?
My grandfather, no,
He just had a book.
he just my mom. I think my mom took it from the his library, but I'm sure he was an educationist. Though I didn't get to meet his later part of life, but um, as far as my mother had the books, that means he was an educationist.
Yeah, into education, right, right. Interesting. And you see, it's amazing how some of these things contribute or help. Yeah, that was your first chemistry book, so you just stuck to it. Yeah, interesting. So now you enter the team, you get selected. How did it feel like when you realized that really, really you were going to be on that stage?
Um, it was a dream come true because uh, the first time I saw that was in 2009, and then
Oh yeah, back to the Asala thing. So Asala, if you don't know, you've inspired the whole Charlie, another winner, another NSMQ winner since 2009. I think that was Jeffrey Asala, Prosper Gigenyon, and then Frankie Dupoku. That was the squad, and the trial. They also won the quiz that year. So it's amazing how what that happened at that time inspired you, and so many years down the line, that inspired you to also win. Amazing. Anyway, continue.
yes, so getting to know that I'll be on stage, it was a dream come true. But more importantly, it means that you had a responsibility because you can't be carrying the shoulders of Presec and be boasting and when the work is not actually done. So that means that if, we have to do the work before we come and think about the dream come true.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah. And so I just knew that this is the time. And one thing about our team was that we believed in ourselves very much, and then we felt that like we could win, and we would win because for us in particular, always we knew that we had this favor of God upon us, and so everywhere we go, each and every one of us, we had the favor of God, the grace of God, and so we had it upon our minds that no matter how the contest turns out, we will still come out victorious. Yes, so we had that in mind. We now had to come to the preparations. So the preparations, because it's a team, so that means it had to be a team effort. There is no I in a team. So we worked on ourselves, each and every one, and what you don't know, you teach this. What this doesn't know, he teach you, and eventually we use that to build ourselves up. And then we shared knowledge and getting to the contest. Like you could just feel the presence of everyone. When you look into your teammate's face, you see that he's actually
Yeah, with
you. Yeah.
Wow, wow. So kudos to all the team members. Right.
Yes.
And everybody, both on stage and behind.
Yes. So both on stage, and a lot of work goes on behind the stage too. I mean, we're a team of 11, but the other 8 team members are actually those who do much of the work. We are just the ones to represent them, and it's only by grace that we represented them.
Wonderful. How did you feel now that NSMQ really came and you realized you were actually contesting?
Well, one thing I remember very well was that my JHS maths teacher used to tell me that he's expecting the best from me and no excuses. Yes. And no excuses. Yes. So our teachers, our trainers too used to tell us that this is Presec, especially Pascal. Tell you that this is Presec. That means that there's a standard that you have to meet. And so it was a great privilege knowing very well that you are going to make sure that you are going you'll be
representing school. Yeah, such a tradition.
Yeah. And then you are going to make sure that you reach that standard, because that one too is a very important aspect of the game, because um, you can't be representing per second you win by 20. Yeah, so you have to reach that standard. And so um, it was an honor to represent the school, but it was also more of a responsibility. Yes, it was a more of responsibility to take that honor upon yourself. And so that's what we did. And then along the way, I'll just keep myself with my DHS teachers, yeah, saying that he's expecting the best from me and no excuses. So I had that in mind, that they are expecting the best from me and no excuses. So with that, it means that you have to win at all costs. And so with we were working and praying, and that made it for us.
So now you got to quarterfinals, semi-finals, and finals. It was like you were almost there. How I mean, how was that feeling? Like almost there, finals, and then when you actually won.
So actually, the to me, it looked like the semi-finals was a big hurdle. It wasn't really a tough contest, because, well, you know that you have the assurance that you are going to win because the grace of God is with you. So for that one, they were assured. But it's like there is this thing that it is the contest before the final. That means if you lose that, you're not going to the final. So it brought a little bit of fear, which I shouldn't have condoned. Yes, but one thing that I like very much about my partner is that I used to steal a glance at him. Like, he'll be calm, as if he's not going to do anything. Alfred. So I just will steal a glance at him, and then I'll see that now he's calm. I'll be like, okay, so that means we are doing this together. There's nothing to fear about. And so the first round of that semi-final contest was a little bit hitchy, because I was on and off. Yes. But during the semi-finals, I was like, no, I have the Spirit of God in me. I have to start my authority. That's what I said. And I just remembered, you have no excuse. So with that, we went to the speed race, and then I think 13 points in the speed race, and we killed it. So getting to the speed the finals, well, it was like we've won another contest. But when we got on the stage for the finals, and I realized that no, I'm in the finals.
In the field.
I just remembered the 2009 finals at an instant. And then at the beginning, if you could see, apart from introducing myself, I never said anything. Alfred was the one who was doing the talking, and I kept quiet. I bowed down my head because I was just thinking like the effort that I have to put in, because that is the last contest before we hold the trophy. I knew we were going to hold the trophy because of an assurance from our mates, as I said. Yes. So I just kept quiet, making sure that I maintain a nice decorum in my mind. Yes, before we start the contest. And so while I was doing that, I think it made me down a little. But even it kept me on the prize, but it made me down in a sense that we could all see the round one, how it turned out. Yeah, we were coming from behind, though we were not moved. Like, coming from behind is no, yeah. If you have the assurance that by God's grace you win, like, those things don't move you. And funny enough, for the round one, we weren't keeping scores. We didn't even know we were losing. Or like, all that we knew was that, well, we were not answering, paper was not answering, fine. So if I just go in scratch, we don't care. That was for me, that was the mentality. Yes. But at the end of round one, when we heard the scores, we were like, well, it's like you want to kill the snake and then you don't cut off the head, but you just cut the tail. You didn't finish the job. So, well, some hots, Adisado could not kill the contest. Like, well, it certainly proves that we are going to win this contest. So getting to the speed race, it was now time for business. No, we've been joking from round one, and part of it was not because we intentionally wanted to joke, but as I said, trying to remember some stuff and keeping quiet for a long time made me dull. Yeah,
In terms of your vibe.
yeah, it made me dull a little bit in the round one. Yes, and so getting to the round two, I remember I wrote you as we are victorious before we started the contest. So getting to the round two, I looked on it that this is what I wrote. I wrote we are victorious on stage. So I just tapped Alfred and told him that um Alfred look, and it was we are victorious. So seeing that like it's time for action, putting our best, and well, contest sometimes can favor you, cannot favor you, but there are certain questions that we could have gotten correct. For example, if you had gotten the math question, the first math question correct, that means that we would have killed the game because that would have been three math questions in a row. And then that one, we got one answer right, but it was two answers. We got one right and we got one wrong. We got one wrong because um, I think my mind was over speeding as at that time because I got a negative two, but somehow I divided it by two again. So it's like I was just on speed, like
You went a little overboard.
yeah. So when we answered it was wrong, then Alfred told me, he was like, you got the negative two. How do you divide by two again? So like I was, you see, I was in my mind. I was like, it's time for action. So I was just over speeding. Yeah, but over speeding kills. So yeah. So I just decided to calm down. Fine. The first we got the first question wrong. There are two others. You have to get it. So that was the mentality. We got it, and then we got some other questions correct. And the question that we didn't get right that pained me was the last biology question that Prempe got correct, because that was a definition that I had kept in mind. Like it was an explanation that I was like,
If it comes.
I was waiting for it to come in the contest, but it never came until the finals. So I was like, if this one comes here, I'll be the first person to press. But you see, I wasn't really pressing for biology explanations in a while in the speed race. So when that question came, I wasn't fast to the biology one. So when they took it, it really paid me because I knew. Because for that explanation there, oh, so when he started explaining, I told Alfred that he's right. Ja, let's think about the PUD. Yeah.
That's very, very funny, very interesting. So you guys go through all these emotions on stage.
Yeah.
So now you went to the POD, true or false, and then in the riddles they were leading you by one, but you knew you would still win.
See, as I said, you want to kill the snake, you have to get the head, not the tail.
So how was it like when finally after that third riddle you knew you had won? I think you jumped out of your seat or something.
In fact, like as at that time, to be frank, I couldn't control myself. I didn't know what happened.
No, I understand.
So it was after the contest that one dude, the a disco quiz boy, he told me that you're about to punch me. I was like, are you for real? Yeah. So
Shout out to is it Abdul Wadud?
Yes, Abdul
Yeah, a
Wadud.
disco guy. He did excellent as well. Shout out to him.
So after that time, I didn't know what I was like. I just left. When she said you are, I left. I left cry. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
It was like wow. That was the point that I realized that no, I represented Presec and then I've won it for Presec. That was the only point I thought about that because
Now sank in.
yeah, all that time I was like, well, quiz boys have become to Presec, so being a quiz boy is no news. So there is nothing to boast about being a Presec quiz boy. The real deal is winning the trophy for Presec. So it was at that time that I realized that no, I'd actually presented Presec and won. Yeah.
That's when you thought everything really had been accomplished. Yeah, the real deal. So are there any people you'd want to recognize or appreciate throughout this journey?
Yeah, so first of all, I'd like to thank God very much because it was a privilege winning the cup. Yes, and also my teammates very well. Then I come to the other fraternity. Yes, for their support and all the old boys who were behind us. Yes, I also like to thank my family very much. Yes, for everything, and also my brother because he fasted for me. Yeah, Percy, Anim Tenkorang. He fasted for me during the contest, throughout the finals. And when I go back to Presec, I saw that he was very light. He had lost some weight. He actually fasted for me to win, and I thank God that He has made him such a strong pillar. And I also like to thank my other contestant for making the finals a very for making the finals a very nice experience. Yes.
Silver eye with that.
Yeah.
And of course, your teachers.
Yes. All the teachers, Pascal, Mr. Fram, the headmaster, Serizi, all of them. And also,
Peru.
yeah, Saperu, Sir York. Yeah, it's Sir York. Can't forget. And Mrs. Sani, yeah, head of science, yes, at Presec LEGON. And also all my friends and juniors, yes, and all my teachers back in GHS.
Wonderful. So let's talk about Think Crime Beyond. What was the first riddle you answered?
The first read was Momentum. Yeah.
Okay, Charlie, you still remember. What about the finals? That final riddle you answered?
The final read was suspensory ligament.
Yeah. So let's talk about Think Crime Beyond suspensory ligament. What are your hobbies? What do you do?
Um, well, I used to do a lot of artwork in GHS.
Wow.
Like, I really had good times back then because during Christmas we'll be designing Christmas cards, during examinations, success cards. Yes, and I remember we used to have this program called SIMTAC, Science, Innovation, Mathematics, Technology, Arts and Culture, back in GHS, at Coleman International School. Yeah, so we used to display or exhibit during the fair. Yes, so I used to make houses made up of boxes. One time too, I joined one of my friends, Eugene, in coloring people's faces. Yeah, painting faces. I used to do a lot, play football, yeah, during sports day, and I was also a very staunch member of my house. Like I was a proud member. Yes, so I used to have all those accolades with me too. Yes. Yeah.
Akuli, so what's your nickname?
Oh, oh, nah. Oh, oh.
You know.
Oh, no.
Okay, but it looks like you have a very artistic side of you,
Yes.
like drawing and stuff.
Yeah. So it's this a melancholic nature of mine. So sometimes I'm quiet for a while, and some people don't like that type. But when it's time for action too, I switch off. I switch on. Yeah, to another side. So that melancholic nature, it makes me adapt to environment. So if I would need to be quiet to make sure I get things done, I don't care about who is around me. Yeah, and that's what sometimes people don't like because
No, you gotta
yeah,
be yourself.
yeah, you have to be yourself, and then it just means that you don't have to follow the norm. The fact that they are doing this, they are making noise here, that's when you have to make noise. When it's time for me to make noise, as in sports days and stuff, I know when to do it and I know how to do it.
Wow.
Yes.
So that's a great lesson. Don't force yourself to be who you are not or what people want you to be. Just be yourself, be proud, be happy. Go with even if you are quiet, melancholic. Don't try to be a crazy guy because they say you are too quiet because that gets you into trouble, right? Yeah. So awesome. And then it looks, you say you are quiet, but it looks like you have a good sense of humor. You have your own way of humor. And the reason why I say that is because when they asked you during the NSMQ videos that if you didn't attend Presec, what school would you attend? What answer did you give?
I was like, no school. I would have been in the house.
I was like, hey, think I so you did. Okay.
Yes.
You have your own fun in your own special way.
Yes. And my nature too allows me to kind of inspire others too. Sometimes.
Amazing.
Yes.
So what's your favorite inspirational quote or Bible quote or your favorite quote or something that gingers you? Or story or character? Something.
Well, for me, the mantra that I took is what my JHS teacher always tells me, that he's always expecting the best. So no excuses. It simply means that in this life there are no excuses for your performance. You don't have to say that because you didn't do this because this happened and therefore you couldn't achieve your goal.
Okay, I feel you. I feel you.
So no excuses.
Right.
Make sure
Now,
that if you are doing something, get to the point.
okay. So, who is your favorite NSMQ contestant of all time? And if it's difficult to mention one, you can mention your top three.
Okay. So I like to take top three. Yes. So the first one, Jeffrey Asala. Yes, for that.
Jeffrey Asala. Which school?
Presec LEGON. Yes.
Which year?
2009. 2000.
Speak loudly a little.
Yes. 2009. Jeffrey Asala. Then I just like the spirit of it's 2022. So yes, I like to mention all of them.
As the team, as the joint.
So the team has won. Jeffrey Asala won, and then
When you say the team, you mean
the team Gapeto, Benjamin Ketia, Isaac, Kofi Jemfi, all of them as one. Yeah.
But you see,
And-
people might not know the year. That's why I just wanted to.
Oh.
So he's talking about 2020 Presec Legon
Yeah.
team.
2020 Presec LEGON team. And then I don't really fancy the other contestants from the other schools though, because I like Presec. So apart from them, I also admire Prince Deborah a lot. Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. So if somebody was to ask you, who is the greatest speedster of all time? Who will you say it is?
The greatest speedster of all time. For that one, I can't really settle on it. Yes, but it's between Benjamin and Prince Deborah. Yes, for that one, it's between Benjamin and Prince Deborah.
You mean Benjamin Defoe?
Yeah, Benjamin Ketia, 2020 and Prince Deborah 2021.
If somebody said the greatest riddle man of all times, have you put your mind to that or no?
Greatest riddle. Yeah, some people say Gadasu, 2017, but it was Asala Jeffrey Asala 2009. That's where I got the inspiration from.
He
Yeah.
was actually really good at the riddles. Yeah, that's true. So okay, great. I won't push you too much. But if I said your favorite female school or contestant, or let's start from favorite female contestant. Yeah, or that's not something you've really thought about.
Yeah, I have. 2019, Dion, Wesley Girls. Yeah.
Okay, so that's one for Wesley Girls. Dion, wherever you are, shout out to you. And then your favorite female school.
Favorite female school. Between Wesley Girls and Abri Girls.
Okay, you're going to get into trouble for that, but I'm not part. I'm not part of it. I'm not part of it too. But anyway, that's your view. Your okay. So did you ever go to Abri Girls?
Oh no, never. I never went to Abri Girls until after the quiz. We had to go there whilst returning from one of the trips. Yes, that was the only time I went to Abri Girls, but I never stepped in Abri Girls while in Presec.
So do you have any friends from Abri Girls?
The only friends I had as at that time were my classmates from JHS, but I made friends after the quiz. Yeah,
Like who?
Esther and Esther, Ella, Erabi. Yeah.
Okay.
Even though I've not really had a lot of interaction with them, but I got to know them. And Rachel too. I think the third contestant. Yeah.
So like, do you have a girlfriend? Is that something you and your friends talk about? What's your advice? Like, what's your position on that, basically?
For me, I don't have. Yes, because I feel I'm too young for that. And
True.
yeah. Also, I have a lot of things to study. The NSMQ is not the final stage. No. Yeah, even though there are a lot of pressure. Yeah, make sure you get, but then it doesn't really affect me. Yes.
You are just focused. Wow.
Some people think it's a boring life, but it's not really a boring life if you know what you're up to.
And in future, you rather enjoy.
Yes.
Yes. So you make the sacrifices now. You have all the fun at the right the time for everything. So as I always like to do, we like to get to know the contestants beyond the stage. So I'm sure Tinkwang's life is not just about sitting behind a chemistry or physics or biology book. Charlie, at least he goes to church, he sings, he does other things, he interacts. So what is your, okay, what church do you go to?
I'm a Presbyterian.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Presbyterian came to a Presby school. They are true Presby boy. Okay, so I know Presbyterians, they like hymns a lot. What's your favorite kind of music?
Um, Choral music, but and I also like hymnals. Yes.
What are other kind of music?
Apart from that, choral music, hymnals. I also like the Western gospel songs too. Yeah.
So what's your favorite hymn or favorite song? And we would like you to sing that for us.
PH11, Presbyterian Hymn 11. Yes. It's about Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's basically it.
So guys, give him morale.
Okay. Okay. Then I fa minyi waye to me wura dasi bre fa wo pano mami namasema ye ofe na wo dono senchireni me wo dono drama dreini tumfuni o hinkesi ye dawasi iwaye.
Wow, that was what good kudos, John. So you made it, you know. But it's also the words that matter. Great voice there and good choice of music, a song of thanksgiving. Always good to appreciate the Lord for what He has done. So at least we got to see Him do something apart from doing speed race, you know. So that was a good one. Hey, but this has really been a really interesting interview. What are your plans for the future? What do you have in mind, even if not immediate, career wise? I mean, how does the future look like?
Yeah, so as always, I'd like to seek advice. So I'll speak to some experts, and I know some of the others are experts in the area, computer engineering. So I'll speak and get some experts' advice from it. Also, Gapeto Daniel and Faith Sobisera are also doing computer engineering. So I also seek advice from them. But as of now, I want to keep the course general for me so that I have more options. But I'm looking at machine learning and artificial intelligence. I have an eye over there, but I'll seek expert advice, yeah, on where to go.
Good, that's not a bad thing to do at all. Always seeking advice. And there's one final thing I wanted to ask. What would you say if I said, "What's your advice for the youth?" What would you say?
For me, set your priority right. Set your priorities right. Make sure that God is no. I'll not say God should be at the top of your list because He is your life. So fine, he should be a part of you. So it's not like he should be on the first on the list.
He should actually be a part.
Yeah, he should be a part of you. So he cannot get to be on your list.
I got you.
Yes. So apart from that,
Very deep.
apart from that too, you have to make sure that you achieve your goal and don't be led by this world of new norm. Yes.
Trend.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Very well said. That was John Anim Tenkorang, Presbyterian Boys 2022 National Science and Maths Quiz team member, but also national champion of the Science and Maths Quiz for 2022. We also, his work, his displays. Kudos to you, John. Congratulations once again. I know you've heard this a lot, but from all things Nsmq, officially big congrats for your achievements. We're all very proud of you, and we wish you nothing but the very best in the future. We know that God will be with you, and His will for your life will come to pass in Jesus' mighty name.
Amen.
Yeah, kudos, and we'll catch up with you some other time. Take care. Thanks for the interview.
You're welcome.
Thank you for watching. Thank you everybody for watching. If you've not subscribed to this channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. If you want more of such content, subscribe to the channel and we'll come your way with more of such interviews. Goodbye. God bless.